What's up, traders? Today is Thursday, November 3rd, 2022, and we had a slow grind kind of day. Let's jump right on into it. What happened today? Overall, not down by much, but I'm going to show you how much more downside we have still to come, even though markets today were not down by a lot. All right. So let's once again, 1 minute, 5 minute, 30 minute, 65-minute chart. And this morning's stock outlook session where I had indicated, yeah, it's going to be bearish, and that's what it was all day. It was a slow grind, wedge formation, right? This is the 5 minute chart you're looking at. Slow grind, wedge formation. It could not break. Once again, the trusty dusty 5 minute EMA 50 line. It could not break it all day, and that was pretty much expected. Okay, so you see it try to come up, fail the back test, right? Try to come up again, fail the back test. Specifically, I always look for the 5 minute candle. Where is the 5 minute candle closing? And it is closing right through the EMA 50 line. Okay, all day the EMA 50 served as resistance. Okay, and let's see. It just so happens that the 30-minute SMA 20 served as resistance on the 30-minute chart, right? Perfectly. I want to call your attention to where we closed today. Zoom in. This is the 30-minute on the left, 65-minute on the right. We closed. This is TQQQ. We closed right exactly kissing the support line, right? So I closed out my positions on my puts. I got those today because we need to see what's going to happen here. What's futures going to do? It's possible the futures could gap down below it tomorrow, right? That's the market's way of uh, taking the fight out of the investors' hands, because naturally the investors are going to want to the buyers, the bulls, or will want to defend that support line, right? During normal trading hours, but markets can get around that by gapping down. Say, well, now the bulls not are not going to defend it. You have to stop from going down. Now you have to the bear. Now when you gap down, um, you're going to put it in the bear's court to push it down, keep pushing it down, and the bulls have to hold the line, right? So um, I'm not sure. We'll see what the market makers have in store for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning we will wake up and find out. Are we above the line or below the line? So if we are above the line, that tells me that market makers. Let me. Here's a chart. Let me go to the daily. Yeah, did we come up and yeah, we gapped down today. We did come up and fill it. That's what I was wondering about. So, um, let's just see what happens tomorrow morning. But we did close right at kissing that support line, okay? So, we kissed it twice today. In the morning and then at close. All right. So, let's see where we end up tomorrow. Now, pop quiz. How can you tell? How can you have an idea that this is going to fall? Any thoughts on that? Anybody? Because I asked that same question on my Twitter feed this afternoon. When here, let's go back to that. Okay, I said QQQ is about to fall. See if you can see on the charts where the hint is. I actually put a screenshot at that moment before it was going to fall, and it gives a hint. Okay, and I'm about to show you that hint. And then here it is after it fell. Okay, so here's how you can tell it's going to fall. So as you can see, This looks like just a wedge, right? You have an upper and then a lower. It looks like a wedge, a perfectly forming wedge. But how do you know it's going to fall? I'll tell you how you can know. On the 5 minute, on the 5 minute. So in the last, we'll just say hour-ish, last hour-ish, right here. Even though it is slightly kind of going up and down in an inclining manner, it's still below the zero line. That's a huge telltale hint. I find that this is the MACD, by the way, when it's below the MACD zero line, unless it crosses it like in this scenario here, this morning, right? Once, twice. It therefore crossed above the EMA 50 once, crossed it again twice. That zero line is very indicative of the EMA 50 red line. You're hovering below it. That's a telltale sign. That's why this couldn't clear it, this couldn't clear it, and this couldn't clear it. And neither could the final leg. It went down. Okay? Now, in addition to the MACD being under the zero line, here's the rate of change, lower lows. Of course, we don't know this final low, but it is a slight lower low. But look at the Chaikin Money Flow. Oh, that's a lower low. Lower high, I'm sorry. Lower high, RSI, lower high. So you're already getting hints that this might not end up too well. Yeah, and plus, you know, as I'm looking at the larger scale MACD, like on the 30-minute here, that's even though it's trying to slightly incline up, which I expect it to, you are so far below zero, like in this scenario, and especially look at the 65-minute, you're way down here at the bottom. And that's because if you think about, let's pretend hypothetically that it was going to go up, not down in this case, but if let's pretend it's going to go up. Well, then what you're saying is that's a trend change, right? Because the 5 minute, if you reverse the trend and start going up, that's a trend change, and none of the indicators or the data support having a trend change up. Like why, what would cause you to have that trend change? You see what I mean? So especially if it's not supported by any of the indicators at all. See, I didn't put an arrow here, but that's lower highs, right? Um, so the weight of the evidence simply suggests it's going down. Now, on the 1 minute, I will say, see, here's the 1 minute. Look at this, just nosedive at the end. Right at the end there, see how you could start to see lower highs as well, right here. But pretty much came to a head at the zero line, this blue line, the blue line that I drew in there. Lower highs coming to a head and then boom, down. Okay, so let me now let me contrast that a little bit. See, this is higher lows here earlier in the morning, before the noon hour. That is lower than that, so this is higher than that. So that's higher than that, right? So that's higher than that, and that crossed above the zero line, but it just couldn't hold. You know, it had to come back down. So um, just the circumstances don't support that it was going to make an upward move. It just doesn't. Okay. Especially when I show you this next. Okay. This is the 4-hour NASDAQ futures. Okay, let me click refresh just to get most recent data. This morning I drew the red line here. So it was at 150 some 148-ish. Just rounded up to negative 150. negative 148. Look what that red, look what, look what the MACD line has done since then. I left the red line in there that I drew this morning. It's getting worse. It's getting lower. Okay, let's zoom out and see the last time it was this low. Guess when this was? That's the June low. Okay, so right now the macro trends, especially in the 4-hour MACD, as you're seeing here, supports, and I said this morning in the stock outlook session, we are going lower. And I believe it's going to be multiple days. As I pointed out in that session, look how many times it's touched this negative 150 line. How many times it's touched that. And what phase were we in? The downswing phase. See that? Oh yeah, we're going lower, guys. So, but having said that, let me zoom on in. Uh, Maybe it's better if I just go back to this screen. Having said that, again, we closed at support. We kissed it this morning and then we closed there again. So we kissed it, kind of came up, only to retrace it all the way back down. So let's see what happens tomorrow morning. Let's see where futures wants to put us. Does futures want to put us above support or below support and turn it into resistance for the bulls? Now you have to now you have to defend it. Now you have to stop it from going down. Now the bears have the advantage if the futures market wants to play that game of turning what is currently support at close into resistance. That's going to be interesting. And if the futures market wants to play that game, I think you can expect, just speculating at open, the bulls, oh, they're going to try to break support, and you're going to see a huge fight at opening bell. Okay, that's what I expect to happen if currently support turns into resistance tomorrow morning. Okay, you're going to see a huge fight that ultimately I do think the bears are going to win. So we'll see. I'll give my update in the morning uh, to confirm whether that is the case. I can't really say if futures are going to be up or down when futures market opens up here in about 30, 45 minutes. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks. We'll talk to you later.